Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to talk about public transportation in Korea. I know Korea has been a chapter for my life long ago, I'd say already, or it means long ago, but actually it's incredible to think about that because 1 year ago, like in 1 week, it's gonna be exactly 1 year when I first entered Korea, and it's so crazy to think about that. It's end of September and I went there beginning of October. Incredible how time flies, and I really miss Korea. I got so nostalgic when I prepared this video. I was like, damn, I want to travel there again, but Corona is making it like really difficult right now, and soon my studies begin again, so I cannot travel there anyway. So let's just talk about something Korea related at least. Actually, I wanted to talk about this topic a while ago, like after coming back from Korea, of course, but things just happened that I did not, that I did other stuff. But it's okay because I still remember stuff. The most important things I can still tell you, and today I'm going to present you the public transportation that I used personally in Korea. I guess there are more than just that, but this is really the most important, the main thing, the common stuff that you will meet, that you can experience when going to Korea, that you will most likely use as a little guide, in addition to some other videos you may find on YouTube about that. I found it really interesting, like to know like how does that all work here. Like when I first came to Korea, I really wanted to know what that. Maybe someone will find my video helpful as well. Should we just begin? I think in one of my vlogs I already showed you my TMoney card, and the TMoney card is the first thing concerning public transportation that I actually purchased in Korea. I just went to a convenience store and bought one of these. I don't know how much it was, maybe like 10,000 won, and I charged it with money. I think it was also like I put 10,000 won on it. That's basically what you always use for subway and bus, and it is way better to use a TMoney card than just paying by cash, you know, every time paying again. At first I thought it's kind of complicated, like with this card, like what the hell, but it's actually the easiest thing ever. Whenever you go to Korea, get that card immediately and charge it with some money. It will save your ass during your trip. And the good thing about this TMoney card is you can use it everywhere in Korea, so it's not like one card is only for Daejeon or only for Seoul, only for Busan, wherever you buy it. You can like use it in whole Korea. They have the same system, and you also save money when you pay with the TMoney card, because I think when you like go on the bus and you want to pay there for one ride, once I did so because I kind of forgot my TMoney card or something, I paid a bit more than if I would just like take the TMoney card, you know. One ride is actually about €1 if you are smart and you know how to use the public transportation system, and depending on how often you use it, of course, you can save a lot of money. The cool thing about the TMoney card is when you hop on a bus, like one bus line, and you get off within 15 minutes. I don't know if it's 15 minutes. Some people say it's 20 or 30. Like I did not really track it a lot. I think when I was like only 10 minutes or 5 minutes on it, I definitely saw it. Maybe I can check it and write it somewhere here, like to make sure that I'm not lying or bullshitting. If you're on this bus for not too long and you get off the bus within like this certain amount of time, the ride is for free. They don't charge you any money for that, which is so cool. The only condition is, of course, you have to be in the time frame and you cannot hop on the same bus line again. So if you're like in bus 100, direction so and so, you cannot get off after 15 minutes, wait for another 100, get on that one. That doesn't work. You have to use another bus line. You can do that and it's gonna be the same effect. That is actually really, really cool. I mean, makes sense. Like Daejeon, I'm always thinking about Daejeon because it's like my Korean hometown. Busan, Seoul, all those big cities, 15-minute bus ride's probably nothing, so that's why they're like, okay, let's make a compromise out of it. Most people drive longer anyway. Then I also used, I think only once, when I went to Jeonju, a long distance bus. I went to the bus station in Juzong and I bought my ticket at the counter there. It was like a small station, but not for trains, you know, the big train stations, you know, but for buses, for long distance buses, a small one, a separate one. That was really cute. I went there, I bought my ticket, like I think two-way ticket, and then I went there the date I wanted to go. It was so cheap. I remember, I think I went there 1.5 hours or something, maybe. I don't know, it was not that long. It was only like $7 or something, so 7,000 won. It's a lot cheaper than taking the train, of course, and maybe even more convenient if distance is not as long, not too full even, like not too many people in there. I definitely had the seat next to me free. Then, of course, the trains. There's different types of trains you can use. So there's the fast speed trains and there's the slower trains. And the one I used actually all of them. There's the KTX and SRT. Those are high speed trains. And there's the one I used, Mugunghwa. The name had something to do with flower. The name had a cute translation. The Mugunghwa is a slow train and that's the cheapest of those three. The cheapest, the slowest. It was also full a lot. Many Koreans don't consider it as convenient as well, and many old people travel with that one. And the last wagon is actually without seats really, maybe just a few chairs but not really a lot. And it's more like a standing wagon, so you can even buy in the same train, you can whether buy a ticket with the seats or without a seat. And that's gonna be cheaper as well. I used it when I went to Seoul just for a few hours, and actually everyone was sitting on the floor basically. I remember that old lady, she was sitting with me, she was gesturing, like showing me where I should sit and how to make it more comfortable, really cute. And I remember every time we would reach another city, there would be this melody. That was, yeah, I'm getting really nostalgic right now. Oh my gosh. But that's actually the one I used most frequently, like almost all the time, because when I was in Daejeon, like I could reach Busan within 3 hours, so it was not too much for me. Like 3-hour rides are not a lot for me. But I guess if you go from Busan to Seoul, it's gonna be a lot longer. I remember the closer you are to the biggest city, Seoul or Busan, so like one train goes always from Busan to Seoul, from Seoul to Busan, and in between all the cities. The train would get really full, like in between not as much usually. So what about the KTX and SRT? So there is not really a difference, except that those are like two different companies actually, but in the end it doesn't matter because Korail is like the boss company of the train system in Korea. They're both convenient, both the same structure kind of, and prices are also almost the same. I just remembered that when I bought a ticket to Busan again, the SRT ticket was like 5,000 won cheaper than the KTX ticket. So I saved like $5, which is at least something, right? But the difference is not as huge. It's also that the starting points are different. For the KTX it's Seoul, and for the SRT it's Suso station, but they pass the same cities basically in between. The tickets you can of course buy online. I think most people did it online, but I did not get it. Something was wrong, I don't know why for me personally, but I just always went to the train station, and there you can whether go to the counter and talk with the person, tell them where you want to go. They will offer you different routes, different tickets, or you can use one of the ticket vending machines, which I did almost all the time. There you can pay whether by card or by cash. Be careful because finding a vending machine that is with cash is not as easy. Like most of them really wanted you to pay by card, but I did not have a card that I could pay with. So my Visa card, they did not accept that one because they accepted only domestic cards. I always had to pray and find one that was with cash, and mostly like if you have like 8 or 10 of those ticket vending machines, you will have like one which is also offering cash payment. You can like insert your banknote, you will get a ticket. And sometimes like those ticket vending machines, for some reason they are so sensitive, they did not accept my banknote sometimes, and I had to unfold and stretch and rub the banknote so it could like scan them and accept them. And sometimes there are people, like I was surprised when a woman suddenly came out of the blue, like the staff member, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna help you. Sometimes when they see you're struggling, they come to you and help you out. She was like helping me to make this vending machine accept my banknote. You can like select wherever you go and when, you know, on the like a big touch screen. You can select Korean or English, so that's okay. And lastly, for me, taxis. Taxis are really available, like wherever you go, whenever you go, doesn't matter if it's at night or during the day, you will see taxis passing by frequently every 2 or 3 minutes. You can actually order a taxi, but I did not need that. This is a story. When I went to Seoul from Busan, I had to wake up at like 3 AM or something. My train was at 5 something. I did not even think about coming late or not getting a taxi because I went out, I went to the main street, I waited for a few minutes and I waved my hand, and immediately the next taxi came to me and picked me up. If a car is free, I remember that one, it's gonna be written like bincha on it, which is like free car basically, but it's gonna be written in Korean. It would be cool if you knew what it means, but I think if you like wave your hand, a free taxi is gonna come to you anyway, and it's really cheap. I think I have no idea about taxis. To be honest, I've never used a taxi myself. Of course I was in taxis, but I've never like paid myself or paid attention to like what my parents back then or someone else I was with paid for that taxi, so I cannot say anything about taxi prices in other countries or in Germany, but I think they are more expensive definitely. For a 15-minute ride you would pay like $7 only, so $7 or even $6 in Korea. And the cool thing here is also like it doesn't matter if you're one person or two or three or four, price not gonna change. It's just like the distance and the time, how long your ride was, you know. Oftentimes it's really cool if you are with several people, so you can share the costs for that. I use a taxi like to go like at night from where I live to the station, and also when we went partying at night to come back home, you know, because also that's an important point. Buses and subways are not 24/7 in Korea, not even like 27 or something. The last subway comes at 12. Even like big cities in Busan, the last one came at like midnight, and then again they come only at 6 or 7, so there's a big time gap in between. Keep that in mind. I was not used to this because here where I live in Germany it's like until late nights and starting really early morning, so there's only like 2 or 3 hours where they're not available. But overall I was okay with all that. Public transportation system worked so well for me. Really soon I actually adapted to the system. I was not lost. Like, of course Google Maps or Kakao Map helped me, especially in the beginning, but I did not need a lot of guidance from other people, and that's, I think, really important that you have an orientation when you're in a foreign country, at least for those things. How do I get from A to B? Yeah, and so that was my experience with public transportation in Korea. I hope this video was informative. If I forgot something, you can ask me in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with those people who might be interested in that, who might want to travel to Korea or find out about the public transportation system there. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. I still have some videos I want to do about Korea, even though Korea's been a while already, but I just love that country and I'm happy I traveled there. I hope you have a great week, a great time, and we see each other next time. Bye bye!